Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoyed these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing an unexpected partnership launched in 2012, Ball for BMW, and this is the Ball for BMW Power Reserve Chronometer, designed by none other than Magali Metrier, the designer of virtually every Jaeger-LeCoultre men's watch of the 2000s. It's almost like finding out that your local community theater production stars Giovanni Ribisi and Al Pacino. This is a timepiece with an impressive heritage considering Metrier, Ball, and BMW all contributed different elements. It wears well and surprisingly compact on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. Now the watch is DLC stainless steel and 42 millimeters, but remarkably for a 42, only 46.1 millimeters across the wrist. So this is a timepiece that I can recommend for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. Now we'll give ourselves a little bit better contrast. Zoom in and take a look at the strap that's fitted. You can see that the spacing between the lugs is a very contemporary 21 millimeters, so it has a nice broad planted stance and footing on the wrist, and it is a slender watch at 12.8 millimeters thick. It's only a little thicker than a sub, so if you can wear a Rolex Submariner with your favorite cuffs and attire, you can wear this with the same. The watch is equipped with a medium brown small-scale alligator leather strap, and you can see that the strap itself features a monotone stitch, a folded edge, a little bit of bolstering down its center for body, and then on its underside this is a natural calfskin with a more conventional graining and texture. Italian made, factory. As you can see, this is a Ball OEM strap in new condition. The buckle itself is surprisingly robust. First of all, I would have expected a pin buckle on a watch in this price point, so Ball, as ever, punching above its weight, giving more than expected. It is a double depoyant, and as you can see, the double depoyant with twin machined swing arms and a twin trigger release, so this one is resolutely shut until you press both triggers. There's also a cinching system that clamps down and holds the pin in place on your chosen aperture. So this is double tough and very secure with the cinching system and the double trigger folding clasp. Now jump into the case band, you can begin to see where Metrier added some BMW design elements, as the case is a bit more nuanced and complex in detail than a conventional round case would be. There are recesses, there are flares, there are sharp angles, and there are arcs, all of which are redolent of modern day 21st century BMW design, which has always been a combination of hard creases and sensuous curves. There are also contrasts between what you can see are polished facets and satin finished facets, so they really sweated the details here. The BMW roundel logo appears several times. There's a roundel on the crown, there's a roundel on the dial, and there is a roundel silk screened over the case back. Now the dial itself features the general architecture of a BMW dashboard instrument, and we'll remove my fingerprints right here. You can see it sits underneath a dramatically domed and box section sapphire, and this is not the cheap way to spec a sapphire for your watch. Flat sapphire is cheapest, then domed, then box section. This is both box section and domed, so Ball sweating the details here. The dial has a wonderful dished profile, so from the flange outboard, which you'll note is partially calibrated, there is a broken calibration designed to evoke a analog tachometer, for example, or a speedometer in a BMW high-performance vehicle. That features a satin finish, gives way to a dial base with a similarly broken hour track, and you can see each of the indices on the hour track is rhodium plated steel, diamond polished and faceted. So we have this BMW instrument aesthetic, and then we have the inverse dimple base and a large power reserve scale. The crown, which is a screw down unit, endows the watch with 100 meter water resistance, and you will note that with a 42-hour power reserve, when you do choose to manually wind the watch, the power reserve indicator moves along quite quickly. You'll also note ghosted on the bottom of the power reserve indicator, Chronometer. This is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. The use of silver, black, and orange is dramatic on the dial side, and you can even see that a sunburst graining was employed for the deeply countersunk power reserve scale, so the details here carefully considered and lovingly administered. There is a faceted aperture for the date, administered along with the other styling elements, and the watch does feature both stop seconds and a quick set date. Underneath, protected down to 100 meters, and you can see a lovely vent-style case back. Is a ETA 2897, which is the 2892 with a power reserve. 21 joules, 28,800 vibrations per hour, quick set, and the stop seconds functionality. It features Ball's proprietary amortizer shock protection system for the movement as a whole, and of course it is COSC certified and beautifully decorated, the highest grade of aesthetic as well as chronometric execution available in an ETA custom caliber. So it is both interesting to look at, and it is very, very precise. The COSC standard being a 2-week test of the movement, and the variation allowed no worse than -4 + 6 seconds per day. This is a timepiece that is lovely, thoughtfully designed, different from just about anything else out there, and it has an additional refinement. It has a tritium dial, yes, a modern-day tritium tracer dial, all of the lume contained in glass tubes with a phosphorescent material, and tritium, a beta emitter, so the dial is self-activating and does not need to be charged by light in order to glow at night. You can see it and get a charge on the watch box. Your eyes really need to adjust to the tritium of the Ball watch, but once you give it time, you begin to resolve it a little bit more easily. Remember, these are self-activating tritium tracers.